Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back in another Fortnite video. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys 3 things to do that's going to double your edit speed. So if you guys are feeling like you can't improve your editing speed, or if you guys need some very good things to practice and to improve your edits, definitely stay to the end of the video because these tips are going to help you guys out a ton. And real quick, before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I give away 2,000 V-Bucks every single Friday. So if you guys want to take part in this giveaway and win some free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys do turn on post notifications so you guys get notified for every single new video and when I announce the winners. And lastly, leave a comment down below of either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the next giveaway. And lastly, make sure you guys do support me in the item shop. All you guys have to do is go down to the bottom right, click on support a creator, type in creator code YoungHumor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator in the item shop. And alright guys, let's get to the video. Alright, so in this video, like I said, I'm going to give you guys 3 specific tips that you guys can use to improve your editing speed in this game. These are tips that I use specifically to help improve my speed, and something that I use quite a bit that really helps me out a ton, and I see massive improvement very quickly. So the first thing that you guys want to do, now this one has to do with your settings, and this is something that comes with a personal preference. So one of the things that can happen is, so when you're wanting to improve your editing speed, you can either really go with a high editing sensitivity or a low editing sensitivity, and there is pros and cons to both, and you can actually edit faster on a lower sensitivity, or you can even edit faster on a higher sensitivity depending on how you play with it. I do play on a 2.6. I do tend to play towards the high end. And one of the biggest advantages on having a high editing sensitivity, as you guys know, you can edit much quicker in this game. But there is, of course, a couple of downfalls to playing on a high editing sensitivity, and one of those could be just the simple fact that if you're going for an edit, you have a lot less control than if you play on a lower sensitivity, which can cause you to overcorrect, or you can over edit, or you can even accidentally edit more squares than you need to, just because your editing sensitivity is so high and you don't have as much control. So that's one of the biggest cons to having a higher sensitivity. You might be editing too many squares, you might be finishing your edit all the way off to the side, which can mess up your aim a lot. So playing on a high sensitivity, you really do have to find the right balance, because if you play on too high, you're going to be, missing a lot of your shots, overcorrecting, you're going to be editing too many squares. So when you're going for an edit on a wall, you just want to make sure that you're not playing on too high of a sensitivity. Even though for myself, I do play on a high sense, but I'm able to control it, and I don't have the problem of over editing or missing squares or anything like that. But playing on a lower sensitivity could be what works for the majority of you guys. So playing on a lower sensitivity, I think I was like on a 2.1, which not necessarily is low. Some of you guys might think low is like a 1.6 or a 1.7, but for me, I would probably never go below a 2 editing sensitivity. Oh, now of course I do play in the 40% for my sensitivity, so if you guys play at the high sensitivity like a 60%, obviously that number is going to be a lot different. But the biggest advantage that you have when you're playing on a low sensitivity is you're going to have so much more control over your builds, meaning you're not going to be overcorrecting as much. You're going to have a lot more control, so you're not going to be accidentally clicking a ton of extra squares, which in turn, if you're constantly messing up your edits because your editing speed is too high, playing on a low editing sensitivity could actually help you edit so much faster in this game. So I would definitely recommend giving the low sensitivity a try. Now the next thing, there's going to be 4 specific edits that you guys want to practice in this game, and if there's no other edits that you even ever touch, if you practice these 4 edits, your editing speed and your editing accuracy is just going to be so effective. You're going to be winning so many more gunfights. And the first edit is going to be these bottom 3 squares here on the wall. Now when you're editing, you always want to edit in the upwards motion, as I'm showing here, and the reason for that is when you edit downwards, as you can see, I have to pretty much flick shot on the other player, and the problem with that is it's going to be a lot less likely you're going to hit the player, and on top of that, your chances of hitting a headshot after one of those flick shots are extremely low. So when you're practicing your edits on these walls, you want to almost always practice editing in the upwards direction, because when you're going against another player in game, you always want to edit upwards, because your shot is going to be right on the other player, and that's going to help you with your crosshair placement, which is going to let you hit way more damage, and it's going to improve your accuracy quite a bit. So when you're practicing your edits, you want to practice in this upward motion, but you want to practice this edits because this edit specifically has everything to do with like tunneling. If you're going for a quick flick shot on another player or whatever the case may be, this edit specifically is going to be one of the most crucial in the game. So that's the first one. And the second most important edit you guys want to have mastered down is going to be the edit where you're editing the top 3 corner squares. Now, the reason why this edit is so effective, if you guys do not have this edit specifically, this one right here, if you do not have this one completely mastered, this is something you guys want to practice, because this one is probably the most unfair and OP edit in this game. As you can see, if you're able to hit this edit on another player, I mean, the chances of them hitting you are slim to almost none. I mean, you can't really see from the other perspective, but it is almost impossible to hit me unless they go for like they pre-fire me, or they get some super lucky shot, which happens from time to time. But I mean, it's just going to be way too hard. And if you just edit the bottom 3 squares, a lot of times the other player is going to have the advantage if their gun is already out. So if you edit these top 3 squares, you have time for not only they're not able to hit you right away, you have time for your shotgun to come out. And if you have the charged shotgun, you can edit the wall, charge up the shotgun, and then go for the shot right away without having to worry about taking any damage beforehand. So this is one of the most effective edits in the game. So if you do not have this edit completely mastered, then you want to practice this edit as much as possible, because this is going to be one of the biggest game changers in this game, and one of the biggest game changers for me when it comes to winning gunfights against really good players, because when I'm going for this edit, the other player cannot get shots on me. So this edit right here is one of the best ones to learn in this game, and if you don't have this down, you want to practice it as much as possible. So the third most important edit in this game is going to be editing stairs. Now, there really isn't too much explanation with this one. It's just a lot of times when you're in boxes, you want to make sure you're practicing any sort of ramp flips, any sort of just anything with ramps. You really want to practice that as much as possible. And then the fourth edit you guys want to practice and have this down mastered is going to be the double edits. This one is just effective, pretty self-explanatory when you're maybe in a box, you're trying to edit out, maybe you're getting spam from high ground, and you're trying to ramp up against the other player, and you have to place a floor and a cone just because they're spamming so hard, and you're not able to get any shots on the other player just only using a floor or only just using a cone. So you place a floor and a cone. So practicing your double edits is something that you really need to practice as much as possible in this game. So those 4 edits specifically are going to be the edits that you guys want to have mastered. If you learn no other edits in the game, as long as you have those 4 edits down, that's going to be the 2 wall edits, the stair edit, and also the double edit. If you practice those 4, you're going to be very good at this game when it comes to just winning more gunfights and being very effective against other players. And the third thing that you guys want to do that's going to help you improve your editing speed a ton is you want to work on high ground retakes while also incorporating your edits. They don't have to go for anything fancy. As you can see here, I'm not really doing anything crazy. I'm just focusing on the mechanics I showed you guys when it came to all of the edits. And the reason why you want to practice this, and it's not necessarily doing high ground retakes per se, but you want to practice doing all the edits that you learn in a kind of fluid motion. So whether you're doing a high ground retake or if you're just running and placing walls and structures to edit, that's going to be a really effective way to practice, because when you practice a certain edit in creative or an editing course, a lot of times you're going to have the most perfect setups possible, and in game that's just not realistic. That's not going to be you're never going to have a perfect setup time and time again. So when you practice doing your different edits in different motions like I'm doing here, you're going to notice that sometimes after certain edits, I'm not going to be in the most ideal position to go for the next edit, meaning I'm going to be a little bit off balance, which is going to force me to, if I'm not very good at an edit and I'm a little bit off balance, I'm going to be choking the edit time and time again. So what I want to do is I want to practice going for these edits in a high ground retake fluid type of motion, because it's going to challenge me when it comes to practicing these edits. So first of all, I would just recommend practicing the edits you have it down pretty well, and then after that, then I would recommend throwing it into a high ground retake, or just in some sort of build sequence where you're practicing that edit over and over again in some sort of way where you could potentially get off balance. And there's so many different edits you can practice in this game. And if you guys are looking for different high ground retakes to practice, I have a ton of videos on my channel with a lot of them already. But with that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked it, make sure you guys do hit that like button. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Make sure you guys do hit that notification bell, because I do stream every single day here on this channel at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So definitely hit that notification bell so you guys will get notified when I go live on this channel. I play solos every single day, so definitely come by my live streams if you guys haven't already. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching the video, and alright guys, I'll see you next video.